In this live stream, we'll build our very first Hello World Slack app using Bolt, the official JavaScript framework to build Slack apps. We'll be following this excellent tutorial that is written. And so the first thing we want to do, or first, let me explain what is our Slack app going to do. Pretty much, given that you have a Slack workspace, so this is a prerequisite, when you have your app installed, and then you click on the app home, you open it, it'll say, hello, your username. So first things first, if you haven't already, create a Slack workspace. Here I've created my own development workspace for testing purposes. I recommend that if you're going to test your own Slack app, to do it in a development workspace as well, so that you don't accidentally mess up your real or production Slack workspace. So once you have that opened, then the next thing you want to do is create your actual Slack app. So you want to go to api.slack.com/apps, which is the URL over here, and then you want to click create an app. So here you can name it whatever you like. I'll name it Hello World. This can always be changed later. And then you want to add it to your development Slack workspace. Click create app. And then now it's created. So you'll see that there's a lot of settings and features in this Slack app. So our Slack app is pretty much going to be listening to the app home event. And so the first thing we want to do is let us go down. We can install our app, but we can actually wait a bit to do it later. But we'll see that there are app credentials. So we will need the signing secret token, and this will be secret key. I'll add it later to my environment variables in my replit. But let's first add a bot user to our app. So to do that, we go to features, and then we go to OAuth and permissions. And then here, we want to add our OAuth scope. So I guess we do need to install to our workspace first. So let's actually do that. Let's go to install app in settings. And then it'll say, please add at least one feature or permission scope to install your app. So let's actually go here. And then let's actually just add a feature or functionality. And so let us do event subscription. And then let's enable it like that. And then now let us see if we can install our app. I guess we should first have our server running. So let's going back to our basic information. We have this on, so we want to add in the URL for this. So going to basic information, I have this replit created. And so what we can do first is we can first create our Bolt server that is running and listening to the Slack events. So let's first install the @slack/bolt package. Install it. So that'll be, if you're doing this locally, npm install @slack/bolt. This should take just a few seconds. And so this is the npm library that provides an interface or an API to, write your JavaScript code and then to run it on a Node.js server. And while it's installing, I'll write the code first. So from the library, you can destructure app from it. And so here we're just using common JS syntax, like that. And then we want to create our app. And what we want to do is we want to do new app, instantiate that, and then pass in our our signing secret, just like that. And so here we'll save it, store it as a environment variable, we'll call it Slack signing secret. And then let's actually start our app by passing in our port. And let's default the port to 3000. And then once our app starts, we can do a console log to print the message that our app is running. Console log, Bolt app is running, just like that. And let me just indent it, prettify it a bit just to make it look a little nicer. And so as you can see here, app start returns a promise, which is why I'm using the dot then. Alternatively, you can also wrap this in async await. Cool. And now just checking our package JSON, we can see that the only thing we care about over here is this dependency that's added. So this is installed, which is great. And so if we try to hit run right now, looks like it's doing another reinstall, but you'll see that signing secret not found, so could not initialize. So we want to add the signing secret, and so what we'll use is we'll use a .env file. Since on Replit, it actually loads your .env for you by default, but if you're doing locally, you'll need to use the .env npm library, and then to simply require and configure it at the start of your app. And so let's get our .env first. Let me copy this, Slack signing secret, equals, and let's grab our secret from our app. So going back over here, scrolling down, we have our signing secret, which is hidden. So you should never show this. They should always be secret and never displayed or sent in the public. For the stream or tutorial itself, I will show mine, but after the stream is over, I'm obviously going to regenerate and then also delete my app. Just going over here, we want to paste it just like that, and then save it. Now, when we run our app, you'll see that still the same error. Let me check that I have it pasted correctly. Slack signing secret. This looks correct. And this is process M, Slack signing secret. That also looks correct as well. Just try to make sure I saved both of them correctly. Let me hit run again. And I think I do need to add the token first. So let me check over here. All right, so let me go back to the add function feature and map, and then go to bots. See over here. Okay, let me go to review scopes to add. And let's also add a bot scope. So here we want to go to the bot token scope. Let's add an OAuth scope. And let's do a chat.write. Great. So we can now send messages as the app bot itself. And then we can actually install to workspace. So let's install it to workspace. All right, let's return it. Let's check also install app again. This will probably show me the same message, just making sure. Okay, it's good. And then so let me go to the event subscriptions. Yes, this got disabled again, so let's turn it on. This is subscribe to bot events, subscribe to events on behalf of users. So let's add the workspace event over here. This one, let's make it chat. Is it not chat? Oh, it's app home open. Yeah, because this is what happens when you open the home. And then let me see. I'll try to run this again. This will give the same error. Okay. Let us also add the token for now, even though it will be empty. And we'll do process.env, and we'll call the environment variable Slack bot user OAuth token. Copy that. Paste. And then this should be saved. Let's run it. All right, so we got not auth, which is fine. So going back to here, so the request URL is pretty much yourdomainname.com and then /slack/events. So /slack/events. Nice, and now it's verified. Great, and then let's save our changes. So this is saved. I think at this point we can finally install our app. So let me just make sure, can I do this? And it's still not configured with the bot. So let's go back to our, I believe over here, we want to go to our, going back to the event subscriptions, let me just make sure I have my event enabled. I also have the workspace added via the subscribe on events. And then going to the OAuth, back to the OAuth here. And then we have our bot token scopes. We have chat right over here. All right, it seems like I am missing something. Let's actually check the tutorial which was created to help with debugging these issues. All right, so we've created our app. Then we've copied our credential and stored it in a .env. And then we went to features, OAuth, and permissions and added the bot token scope. Just like that. And then install the workspace once you obtain the OAuth token. So I did not obtain the token. Where would that token be? Let's see if I click on here. All right, this is the API documentation for chat right. see, where's bot user? All right, go to install app. So I still need to install, but it said that I cannot install. This is install app to your team. Install to workspace. Doesn't have a bot user to install. Install to workspace. It's not green, so it means I'm still missing a bot user. That means I missed a step somewhere above here. So I have the signing secret, and I've also created my Slack app. I think those things are all good. Okay. And let's see. So I shouldn't need to distribute my app right now, since this is just being tested privately. So let me check the app home again under features. And this seems correct. So it seems like I am still missing something. It's definitely not org level apps. Yep, definitely not that. So, and definitely not incoming webhooks. Incoming webhooks is a nice thing where you can hit a webhook URL and then it will send, like, post a message to your Slack channel. All right, so I think I am still missing something inside of basic information. Oh, did I not click here? No, it's still missing bot user. It's still missing a bot user. Okay, so let me go back to event subscriptions. Over here. So the request URL is verified. The events is enabled. So that is good. And then it says I need to subscribe to workspace events, app home opened. I had one for subscribe events on behalf of users, but actually I might need it for subscribe to bot events. That might be where I missed. Yes, I think this was the one. Let me save my changes. And then let's try to install it again. Install to workspace, and it still doesn't have a bot user to install. All right, let me go back to auth and permissions to see if I can get my auth key or auth token. So I have this over here for chat write. Let me just make sure that chat write is on the bot token scopes. Yes, I have over here. Okay. This will still say no. Let me just add it to the user as well. I don't think that would matter, but I'm curious why I might be missing something in the instructions. So add an auth scope. Let's just add chat right here as well. Great, added. Then let us install the workspace. Let's see what happens. Still doesn't have a bot user to install. Very strange. Okay. Let me check this. All right, the Bolt app is running. It says it's not auth. So I actually might be missing. I wonder if my secret is passed incorrectly. Let me just double check again. Even though it said verified when I checked in the request URL, there might be a chance that I missed something. So let's show this. Just like that. Copied. Okay. Saved. I'm going to stop the server. I'm going to run it again. And same error. It says an API error occurred, not authed. And so let us check if the signing secret here is passed correctly on app. So we have our signing secret just like that. And then we also have the token, which is currently not present or undefined. Interesting. I don't think I need a generate app level token. No, I don't think so. So I think I am missing. What am I missing? I have the event subscriptions. I have the permissions. I guess I'm missing the bot. So let me go there once it loads. Okay, I don't think this matters, but I'm just going to click anyways. Oh, I guess I can't click it anyways. Bot token added. So can I open the bot token? No, I cannot. This is just documentation to explain the token. So going back to auth and permissions. I feel like I am missing one crucial step. So we have the scopes added. All right, let me redo it again. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. Both is saved. Let's just revoke all tokens. Boom. So that clears it out. And then let us add a token here. Chat write. So it's added. Now can I install to workspace? It does not have a bot user to install. All right, so once I have subscribed to workspace events, let us see. So I think at this point, for some reason, in the tutorial, you were able to go to install app and actually see your OAuth token. But I think this happens right after you install your app. But right now, I cannot install my app. Okay, let me try something new. Let me just start from a clean slate again. I wonder if something is just weird with this app. All right, I'm going to go to create app. I'm going to delete this one. Can I delete it? I guess I cannot delete it. Interesting. All right, so I'll create a new app. Let's do it part 2. Add it to the development Slack workspace. Create app. So this time, let's follow it step by step from the instructions. Once we've created the app, you go to Settings, Basic Information screen, scroll down to App Credentials. So here, scroll down to App Credentials, Signing Secret. Let's show it. Let's copy it. Let's go to our environment variables, and let's paste it, just like that. Let's stop the server. And then once I have the credentials for the signing secret, so I add it to the .env in Replit, and then I want to go to Features, OAuth, and Permissions screen. So I don't have to save anything here. Now go straight to Features, OAuth, and Permissions, and then scroll down to Bot Token Scopes. Scroll down to Bot Token Scopes, and then I want to add the auth scope, chat, write. Now I added it. It's right over here. And then you install the app in your workspace once you obtain your auth token. So let's try that. Go to Install App. And let's click Install to Workspace. And now I can install it. Cool. So I think something bugged out in my previous steps. So it seems like you want to follow these steps very closely. And so pretty much this is the OAuth token scope that you've allowed, which is the chat write or send messages. So we want to allow it. Great. Once you've allowed it, now you can copy your bot user auth token. So copy it right over there. And then I can paste it over here. So at this point, we can continue following the tutorial. Here we set up the event. So we go to Features and then Event Subscriptions. And then we do the same thing as we did before. Once the page loads, we want to enable our events. So toggle from off to on. The request URL, which was our simple Slack app, Slack/events, it didn't respond with the value, is because the server is off. So I'm going to run. Let me also clear this. Let's actually stop it again and then run it just so we can see our log. Now let's see. All right, we got an unhandled request was ignored. So the app is running, and it's ignored because in Replit, it automatically tries to open up the index page or the home page. And of course, that's a request that Bolt does not care because it's only looking for ///events path. Let's do a retry. Request URL is verified. And then we go down to the subscribe to events on behalf of users. And let us look at that. So here it's called subscribe to workspace events, but I believe they've renamed it and it is subscribed to events on behalf of users. Actually, it could also be subscribed to bot events. But actually, no, it is on behalf of users. And so this is when the app home is opened, just like that. And then next up is the actual coding part. So we go to our replit. And so what we have done here is we've initialized our Bolt app. So now we want to have an app event. So we do app.event, and then it is the same thing as you saw in the event there. The event name is a string app home opened, written exactly like that. And then what we want to do is we want to have a callback function. So in the first parameter or argument, we have event and we have say. And so event is pretty much the event information or details, and say is the say action that you can make Slack perform. So just to show you that we've hit this endpoint, we can console log event and see what is inside of there. So let me just stop and restart. And then I'm going to clear this out. And so we want to save this. We'll make sure we save our changes. And then just to verify that our app is correctly installed, we just look over here. Yes, this is installed. So if we go to our Slack workspace, now we have this app, Hello World, just like that. And so when we click on Hello World, you'll see that it opened up. Nothing happened. But if we go here, we will notice that it returns some data. And we have an authorization error. And the authorization error is because, what is our authorization error? It is because our Slack auth token, our auth token might be incorrect. So let's go back to there again. Yes, it's incorrect because the bot user auth token must follow, it starts with XOXB hyphen, and that is the correct convention. Our signing secret is correct. We've updated since then. So make sure to save that, stop the server, run it again, and then we clear our console. Invalid auth. Actually, let me double check the Slack signing secret again, just to make sure I have the right one. But the bot token should be correct this time. Oh, it's not. I did not copy it. All right, let me go back. Interesting. I thought I copied it, but I guess I didn't. I'm just gonna wait until this loads. Now I'm gonna click copy. And let me make sure it's actually copied this time. Okay, this looks good. I'm gonna save it. And then let me go to index. Let's go back here. Yes, this looks correct. Starts with XOXB. Signing secret should be correct. Then let me run it again. All right, let's see if it shows an error this time. Nope, it doesn't. So I assume everything would be good. And then so let's say if I reopen the app again, or just click the app home, let us look. Cool. So this is the data that is provided in event. You'll say that the type app home opened, which is this event type. And then the user, this is the user ID. And then we also have the channel ID, and then event timestamp, and then the tab. So what we can do here is we can say that once it is opened, we can say hello username, right? So what we do here is we use the say, And then in say, we can say hello, person. And the way we write this is we need to follow the template syntax in Slack. And so you need to have the brackets with the @ and then the user ID. And in here, it would be event.user, like that. And so stopping the server again and running it. Cool. So we don't see any auth errors this time. Unhandled request was ignored because the home page is not important. So if I click elsewhere and then click back to the app, it responds with hello, remarkable mark, just like that. And there we go. We have our hello world right over there. And that's pretty much kind of the gist of doing a hello world. One thing to call out though is that say returns a promise. So it's better practice actually to refactor this to a async await style function and then to do await. So if you're doing more things like you want to say something and then wait and then say something else and say something right after that and not wait, then you can write it like this. This kind of chains the promises to ensure that the asynchronous looking code at least looks more synchronous in this sense, but it's still asynchronous because JavaScript asynchronous. And I think at this point, this completes the Hello World Bolt tutorial, just like that. And then you can continue to learn more about the Bolt by checking out the API documentation, like getting started here, and as well as playing with other event types. And then you can now write your own bots that can, check for the message, respond with whatever you want to respond. And then another thing to note is that I have a repository created where I have a kind of hello world, but it's a little refactor from the original example. So feel free to check that out. The link is in the description below. Other than that, thank you for joining me on this live stream. I'll definitely see you in the next one. Take care.